Okay, so tonight we are going to go over creation and the 9 worlds. Let me see. And I just recently learned how to make my icons take up half the screen. That's pretty exciting for me. Stop laughing at me.
Stop making it so easy.
It's not easy. It took me a long time to figure that out. Okay.
If you want to know how to operate a computer, you might want to ask your daughter.
Yeah, my 9-year-old can tell me how to use my computer better than I can. So, okay. So the creation 9 worlds. We're going to do creation first, and then we're going to do the 9 worlds after. Unlike Christianity, where they believe the universe or the earth was created out of nothing just one time, Asatru has a revolving creation theory. You cannot create anything unless it was created out of destruction, essentially. We know that Ragnarok will destroy the earth and it'll be reborn in a sense. So before there was anything in our universe, there was Gingagun Gap. And eventually English will get to me. It was basically just a huge black void. And it lay between the worlds of fire and of ice. And the world of fire was Muspelheim, and the world of ice was Nephilim.
Muspelheim and Niflheim.
Yep, that one. The fire and ice slowly crept together into the middle until they met in Gungan Gap. When the fire, when the fire melted the ice water drops formed Ymir, the first godlike giant. He/she was asexual. And when he sweated, more giants were born and formed from his sweat. As the frost melted, a cow named Adhumbala. Are you going to correct me yet, Nicole? Or Amy, whichever one of you? Okay, I was close enough on that one. So this cow emerged from the melting ice. She nourished Ymir with her milk, and he survived by licking the ice, or licking the salt off the ice. By licking, she slowly uncovered Buri, who was the first of the Aesir gods. Buri had a son named Bor, who married Bestella, and their children were Odin, Veli, and Ve. Obviously, we know who Odin is. Odin and his brothers killed Ymir and built the world from his corpse. His blood was turned into the oceans, the soil was from his skin, the grass was from his hair, and the sky was from his skull. There were 4 dwarves that corresponded with the 4 cardinal points that held his skull above the earth. The gods formed the first man and woman, Ask and Embla, and they were formed from 2 ash tree trunks. The gods built a fence around their home to protect them from the giants. And their home was on Midgard. And our creation is nothing like the Judeo-Christian history. We have a give and take and a recycling of life and death. Odin, Ve, and Vele had to kill Ymir to build Midgard. Gunnan Gap was out of nothing. It brought 2 worlds essentially together to destroy and create our cosmos as we have them now. So out of Ymir's body grew a giant ash tree. Does anyone have any idea what that ash tree was called?
Yggdrasil.
Yay! The tree roots of the tree go to 3 levels of the world, and 3 springs supply it with water. One of the roots went to Asgard, the home of the giants, or home of the gods. One of the roots went to the land of the giants, Jotunheim. The third went to the primeval world of ice and darkness, Nephilim. The roots that go to Jotunheim hold Mimir's well, the well of knowledge. And the spring that goes to Asgard is cared for by the three Norns. Does anyone know a name of one of the Norns? Anyone? No. Okay. The first is Yurd, what once was. Then the second one is Verdandi, what is to come. And then Skuld, what shall be. And unlike a lot of thinking, they do not represent the past, present, and future. They represent past, present, and what is necessary for the future to come about. The upper levels of the tree, or the levels of the tree, are separated into three sections: the upper, the middle, and the lower. You didn't wake up. You haven't been to bed yet. Go. The upper level of the tree has Asgard, the home of the Aesir, Elfenheim, home of the elves, and Vanaheim, home of the Vanir gods. The middle has Midgard, home of man, Jotunheim, home of the giants, and there's no way I can pronounce this one. Svartal's Vanaheim, home of the dwarves.
That's better than I could do.
Yeah, I can't do that one. And then Nithavalir, home of the dwarves. Wait, home of giants. Home of the elves is Svartan Vanaheim. The lower section of the tree has Muspelheim, which is hot and fiery. It's what you'd think volcano. And then Niflheim is darkness, cold ice, kind of what you'd think of like in an Arctic scene. Asgard is connected to Midgard by the Rainbow Bridge. Anyone know the name?
Bifrost.
Yep. Who is Bifrost guarded by?
Heimdall. Yay.
Yes.
Don't mute me.
The guard part in Asgard name is a reference to the terms Innengard and Utengard. Innengard means inside the fence, which is all the law-abiding people, and Utengard means the lawbreakers, the people who are banished. It can also, those two terms can also refer to people. Anyone who was considered Utengard was basically banned from their community. They were excommunicated. And it was basically free game. You could kill them without ever facing consequences for it. Elfheim is the elves' homeland. It's really only mentioned a few times. The Vanir Freyr is said to be the ruler. And you'll find that there's a lot of overlap of the Vanir gods and the elves in our reading. Vanaheim is the home of the Vanir tribe of gods. They tend to be more recognized with nature and fertility than the Aesir gods. The sole clue to Vanaheim that we have comes from Lokasina, which is the taunting of Loki, one of the poems in the Poetic Edda, which states that the Vanir god Njord went eastward when he went to Asgard as a hostage at the conclusion of the Aesir-Vanir War. So that's where we get the location of Vanaheim, where it lays somewhere west of Asgard. But we do not have much information on Vanaheim at all. Midgard means middle enclosure. It's got a double meaning in the middle of the worlds. It is literally situated in between the worlds, right in the middle. The world serpent, does anyone know his name?
Jormungandr.
He lives in the sea and circles Midgard. And during Ragnarok, Midgard sinks into the ocean. Sinks into the ocean, rises again when the cycle is repeated. Jotunheim is the world of the giants, and they're called the Juntnar. They are what's known as Utgard. They are outside of the fence. Their land is wilderness, forest, mountains. I kind of think of it the deserts around Arizona, where all you have is the barren the barren mountains and the hills, and then up, once you go up more, there's all that forest, and it's just unpopulated land. That's kind of the idea that I get when I think of it. Svartnafalium, close enough. Some of the dwarves, it's thought of as a maze of mines and forges. The Vlispa has this and only this to say about it. It says, there stood in the north, in the Neldlivar, the golden hall of Sundry's family. We know that the dwarves are the main builders. So when you think of their land, it's just basically underground, it's mines. I think of forges as just kind of like what you see in Lord of the Rings, just mazes underground and dirt walls everywhere. And then we have Nephilim. This is where Helium is located. This is not the Christian version of hell, where you go if you were a sinner and you did something wrong. In order to get to hell, you have to cross a river, a bridge, and a giantess. The river is called Gjoll, Gjoll, and it's translated into loud noise. The bridge is called Jalbro. It means bridge over Jarl. And the giantess's name is Modhord, and it means furious battle. And we know that Loki's daughter Hel is the goddess of Helheim. And then Nicole was going to do the homework for this week in regards to our quick study of creation and the 9 worlds. Did anyone have any questions over it? Just don't ask me to pronounce anything, because I can't. Did you have the homework, Nicole?
Yeah, the homework is going to be, you have 2 options. You can either, one, you can write up something that, doing a comparative. Pick a creation story from another religion and compare the creation story of Also True to it, and put, I want, comparisons and things that differentiate, like how they're alike and how they're not alike. If you don't want to do that, you can pick one of the 9 worlds, and you can explain in more detail who all lives there, what all happens there, talk about any stories that have happened there, and any particular gods, like if they prefer those. Also, I want you to include any other non-godlike characters from any of the stories that may reside there, and if they've come from there.
If we do the worlds and we all write, we choose to write a paper on the worlds, is it okay if more than one of us writes a paper on the same world?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm writing that homework down on our notes. We just have to do one. Go back. All right. So yeah, that's really all we had for tonight. Were there any questions? I think I already asked that. No, no questions.
No, not for me.
Hoey,
No, sounded pretty good to me.
that was it. I'm gonna go ahead and post the notes in the group once my computer decides to start working. It is not happy with me. Oh, but I did that wrong.
I was going to say, I tried to log into Zoom once and my computer locked up. I had to restart the computer.
I don't know what it is. Just technology hates me. Okay. And you'd think that these things would be simple, but
They are.
no, they're not. Not for me. Nothing likes me. Okay. There we go. The notes are posted. Yay.
Nobody loves me. Everybody hates me. I'm just going to go eat worms.
Oh, I could go for some gummy worms right now.
Oh, those things are nasty.
I love my favorite is the gummy sharks that are like blue on one side and white on the other. I love those. They are amazing.
Sounds kind of gross to me, but that's why we're all allowed to have our own tastes.
Except when it comes from, yeah, we're done if you got to go.